Let's say you want something like this, something where you have a list, a vertical box, and you want to reorder the elements with some arrows. And this is really a pain in the ass to make because Unreal doesn't provide by default the systems to reorder a vertical box by itself, but you'll have to do some work around. Okay, so what you need to understand is that Unreal by default doesn't support the reordering of elements inside of a vertical box. So what you'll have to do is to, for example, if this is your vertical box where you have all of these elements in order, what you need to do if you want to move one up by one or down by one, you'll need to save all of this inside of an array that we'll call buttons array. And then once you saved everything, you will need to create events for the buttons that you created before to move the elements up and down. So you'll need an event to move the entry up. So this will take the buttons array that you just created, and since inside of a simple array you can reorder the elements, you can swap the elements, what you'll have to do is get the button you just pressed, that is an entry from your vertical box, and then you will need to swap it with the button that has an index that's the one you're referring to, -1. So let's if we wanted, for example, to move the third element by 1. So let's say you want to move the third element to the second index. So you want to create something that looks kind of like this, where you have your vertical box, and these are the elements. So you have 1, 3, 2, 4, and 5. And this is the result you want to get. To obtain this result, you have to swap the index of the third and the second element with each other. So you'll have to use a function that's called literally swap. Once you've swapped the indexes inside of the array, you will need to repopulate the list. So you'll have to go again this way so that you will add the children. That's really the name of the node, so it's add child. You will add every single child, so it's a for loop. So from the beginning you'll have to create an array of these buttons, reorder them inside of an array, and then for each one of the reordered elements inside of the array, you will need to repopulate the starting vertical widget. Okay, so let's see it in action. In this widget I have an event constructed that creates the array that we've talked before, and every entry is a button. So every time you click one of the entry, it activates the single button that is, for this example, a boot option. I'm trying to create a BIOS. This is an event that activates the button. What it does, it populates a single variable, yes, a single element variable, and it populates it with the button that you just pressed. So it's a reference to each one of the buttons. When it does that, you have successfully selected the button that you want to move. So if these two are the events that control the up and down button that we've talked before. This branch controls checks if the selected button is actually a button that is in the scene. So if it is, we will clear everything that is inside of the vertical box so that we can repopulate it later in just a millisecond. And this for each loop checks for each element inside of the array we created at the construct if that single element of the array is the selected button, and if it is, we will swap the index of the currently selected button with the one that's above. And at the end we will make again another for each loop that for each element of the array we will repopulate the vertical box, as I said before, using the whiteboard. On the other hand, the down button will do the same thing at the start, so it will clear every child inside of the vertical box, but when we use the for loop, we use it with a break, so that when we sum the index of the selected button with 1 to make it go down, we will stop right there, and we won't again check if the selected button is the one in the array. And then once it's completed, we will do another for each loop to repopulate the child again.